entrepreneur revolution is an idea that we're going through some radical transformational times. I want you to imagine that we go back in time about 100 years ago and there's some farmers working on the land and they're pulling a plough through the soil using a donkey. And they look over to the neighbouring paddock and there's someone with a tractor. And this person who's sitting there on a tractor, maybe it's a young person, 22, 23 years old, operating some new technology. And this new technology allows that person to just plough that field incredibly fast. And there's two responses. One, you could sit there and say, we've got to work the donkey harder. We've got to change, the diet of the donkey, or we've got to do all these things in order to try and compete with the tractor. But the truth is none of that's going to work because there's been a revolution. There's been a whole new way of doing things. It's not about having a faster donkey anymore. So in the entrepreneur revolution, it's very similar. We've come out of the Industrial Revolution and we've seen people who have been used to doing the things that have worked for 150, 200 years. But now we look over and we see 22, 23-year-olds sitting in Starbucks with a laptop and a phone and some business cards, and they're doing business a whole different way. Strangely, they're earning more money, they're having more fun, they're doing things in a bit of a dynamic, passionate kind of way that Industrial Revolution people look at and they think, well, how do we compete with that? And they might think, we have to do things the way we've always done them, have more HR managers and have more structure and have more, rules and policies and more floors on the building. But in actual fact, that age is now over. What we're now looking for is we're looking for the ability to recognise the times that we're in the technology. The interesting thing is you've got to acknowledge the times that you were born in. So if you were born in the early Industrial Revolution, it would make so much sense to actually be an industrialist and to set up a factory. In the Industrial Revolution, the job of the worker was to be repetitive, boring, and efficient. And they were just part of the machinery. So the machinery couldn't operate itself, so someone had to pull the lever and someone had to load the machine and all those sorts of things. Today, we don't need lots of people like that. We certainly don't need them in developed countries, or we can't compete in developed countries. Today, what we need is passionate, creative, problem-solving people who are thinking, people who are dynamic. And that's what the entrepreneur revolution is all about. If you're born in this time, it makes so much sense to embrace the technology of today and to become a passionate entrepreneur or to join a passionate entrepreneurial team. At first, when you wake up that entrepreneurial mindset, it's very frustrating because you look around and you see, mostly a big system that was built around the Industrial Revolution. But when you wake up that entrepreneurial mindset, you start to see opportunities everywhere. It's almost like the veil's been lifted. You see that there's opportunities on every corner. You start to get excited about building a team, about having a cause. You realise that this whole idea of retirement is now foreign because why would you want to retire from something you love? And a lot starts to shift. What I want for people who read this book is to wake up what's already inside them. If you look at kids at play, they're naturally curious, they're naturally creative, they're naturally coming up with solutions, they're problem solving. We put them through 12 years of training to become good factory workers, and we lose a little bit of that, but it's not gone completely. If we wake up that curious, creative, passionate innovator that every single person has inside, then we wake up really what it is to be more human.